Glabo.
Okay, you smooth with it, DJ.
Nah, that wasn't smooth. That one definitely wasn't as smooth. And
Okay.
Is the audio even playing?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Look at my headphones on. I feel like the mic. Grand Rising, good people. Y'all know what it is, man.
Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? Morning.
Hopefully y'all had an amazing holiday weekend with some family and friends. Do me a favor, do BK a favor, do us a favor, and click that like button. Maybe even share with your group chat. We don't need that. We don't need that.
Okay.
We don't need that. What's the word, Clay? How was the smoked turkey? Everybody wants to know how was the smoked turkey.
Come on, man. It was good, man. In my opinion, I give it a 9. 8. I give it an 8.9, 8.5, 8.5. I think I could have. I should have went lighter on the fire. I had it so turned. The breast started, and I didn't know that the breast cooks faster than the thighs and the legs. So you might be focused on getting the breast right, but then the thighs are undercooked. So there's a situation where they aluminum foil the breast to keep the juiciness while the thighs are coming up. That's all new to me. So now that I know the game, I know what to expect. So I'm going back in it for Christmas. Stop playing with me.
You going right to it? You doing the turkey again, or you going to do something else?
Nah, it's turkey because I only get 2 shots a year.
Turkey.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I can't play with them. I got to let them know I'm not to be effed with.
A lot of people smoked their turkey this year, I feel like.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of people online. Yeah.
A lot of Traegers, a lot of smokers. I know Steve, I think he said he smoked his joint too. I know Unc said he smoked his. That's the new swag.
So it's all about smoking it now.
Yeah, smoke that thing.
Nobody's baking it anymore. The frying was in for a little bit.
Frying was in.
I feel like frying just got a little dangerous.
The crib down.
Yeah, frying got a little dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Kids started burning the crib down.
And the smoker is pretty simple, right? It keeps
simple. It really takes all the thought process out of it.
Yeah.
You put it at the temp and then you go to bed.
Yeah.
And then your iPhone send you a text. It's ready.
I ain't mad at that. What we got? Who's tapping in already?
Yeah, I see Unc in the building.
I see Finn. Shout out to Finn in the building. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Ooh. Finn coming in early.
Yeah, Finn, big bars.
Finn coming in early, especially with the big homie Marcus Aurelius. Definitely appreciate that. Appreciate that. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That's one of my favorite ones that he shares. Definitely appreciate that, Finn. How was everybody's weekend? Did you guys get to eat some good food? I know I ate too much. I was Thursday, I was with the folks, and then Friday went down to Maryland with Maya's fam and continued to eat too much. But did
you pull in any meats? Did anybody make the plate or not?
Nah. Okay. I think cool. I may have eaten something that was made with meat. No, I was getting ready to eat some string beans that were made with meat, but I decided not to.
Okay, like the broth.
I decided not to. Yeah, I decided not to. Shout out to Antonice in the building.
What's up, Antonice?
Antonice in the building. We got Unc in the building. We got Phyllis in the building. We got the whole team in the building. We got Motown Mojo in the building.
What's up, Motown?
It's just so dope to see y'all.
Where's Motown at? Where all that snow?
Motown, where you tapping in from?
Yeah, where you at? Son of Liberty.
Son of Liberty in the building.
Morning. Yes, sir.
It's always a trick to getting the turkey right. Shout out to Big
Steve, you're right. Absolutely.
Man. And shout out to Critical.
Critical in the building.
Hope y'all had a good weekend late this morning. Never late, bro. Never late, brother. So this is something that we got to start doing. You a coffee guy, right?
If needed, yeah. I ain't got no problem jumping off the deep end, jumping off the porch like Terry on would say.
So with the coffee, I'm trying this Black Rifle coffee.
Okay.
We're hearing a lot of people talk about it, so I'll give y'all my opinion on that. By the
Is that what's on the desk?
That's this. Yeah, we're gonna try it.
Where
I feel like I had it the other day, but I wasn't really paying attention to trying. I don't know. We're gonna give it
Where's the cream?
Oh no, we go black, baby.
Oh,
we go black. It's called Black Rifle Coffee.
Yeah,
bro.
when I heard rifle, I knew you was.
Come on, bro.
When I heard rifle, I knew what you was on.
This is conservative coffee. This is not that liberal cream. No, I mean,
conservative coffee.
This is conservative coffee, bro.
Let's go. Okay.
This is conservative, bro.
Okay. You like it? I love it for sure.
Come on, bro. That's like putting. That's like having a good scotch and you putting all this ice in it or flavors. Come on, bro. You gotta just appreciate the raw drug itself. What we got today?
Man, what we got today?
Got a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna kind of shoot from the hip with a bunch of this stuff. Obviously, we'll get into the conversation around with Donald Trump, what's gonna happen with this whole Venezuela thing. I think that's the story right now. I have a couple clips from that I'd like to share with you. But let's start off with something that I saw, man. This dude keeps talking about my girl Candace, man. Adam Sosnick from the PBD podcast. He's been having some things to say about Candace, and it's kind of wild hearing this take as an adult man. But we'll start off with this, see what your thoughts are, BK, get the group. And Steve said, Dad got the French press out this morning. Black Rifle coffee is good stuff. Puts hair on your chest, raises testosterone 20%. Okay. Yeah, we definitely go on that black. Let me play this video for you.
Disgusting thing. Forget about what she said about Israel and Jews and BLM and liberals. This is friendship stuff. This is friendship stuff. The most valuable currency you have are the relationships you have, your friends. In my opinion, she's burned every bridge she's ever been associated with. Whether that's...
So to give a little context, and Candace actually retweeted this real quick. This grown man is trying to tell us that Candace is done because who are her friends? She has no more famous friends left. So clearly she's not doing well. This is what a grown man is arguing. So let me kind of run it back now that you got the context.
Disgusting thing. Forget about what she said about Israel and Jews and BLM and liberals. This is friendship stuff. This is friendship stuff. The most valuable currency you have are the relationships you have, your friends. In my opinion, she's burned every bridge she's ever been associated with. Whether that's Turning Point USA, whether that's the Daily Wire, whether that's PragerU, Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder. I don't know what's going on even in this room.
Bro said the most powerful currency are your friends, and then named a whole bunch of employers. Daily Wire, PragerU, Turning Point USA, mentioned Charlie as if Candace was no longer cool with Charlie when Charlie passed, which the text messages clearly show that they were actually cool, and he had actually said that he was bringing Candace on to the next show. But this is just, I don't know why this bothered me, bro, but yeah, I'm thankful for Candace. You want me to keep going, or you got something?
No, keep going.
But it's not like we're loving what she's doing these days. I'm asking you a serious question. Who are her friends at this point?
Well,
to me, she's very lonely.
No, I think she's very close with Tucker. I do think she has a group
How many
of
more
friends.
can you name, though? Other than Tucker,
yeah.
Genuine question. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. Who's Candace's friends? Who are her allies? Can we name a name? Anyone?
Oh,
anyone?
She's got more than you would believe.
Name a name.
No, she's got a lot of them.
I'm sure that there's Twitter army out there.
Yeah,
but what famous names advocates are saying, I'm with Candace?
Bro, this is the craziest meat riding. What famous names are with Candace? Do you not understand? This is what we're trying to get across. Somebody can have 1 million or have the leading podcast in the world.
Yeah, what in the world?
1 million. By the time she finishes her show, she's got 1 million views. She's being viewed as more than any mainstream news person.
Right.
And this man is simply basing it on whether she's aligned with being in the, I don't even know if right is the right way, the right or wrong. He's trying to delegitimize her by saying she has no famous friends.
Childish.
Like this is very high school popularity contest. I think Critical put it best. And is now more than ever, like, is this the easiest time to really just step into a lot of this content space in some ways? Because you see people just present themselves in such phony, like non-legitimate, childish arguments. I just sit and wonder. Right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, and shout out to PBD for just letting them know what time it is. But he sounds like a clown. It's giving clown energy. He's losing himself even describing this. He's just out of like he's just looking for somebody to join. Like, hey, can you reason with me? Or hey, can you listen to what I'm saying? It's just like you said, like how you got the #1 podcast and you think I give a damn about
famous friends. Like since when are famous people the go-to for us? Perhaps that's even the problem with society. We look at famous people as if they have some type of credibility in making decisions about what we should do with our lives. Mm-hmm. She's actually representing the people, and here he's talking about famous people. This taps into a whole different space, in my opinion, where you get a guy like Adam, Zionist, super pro-Israel, and you actually think that, if popular people align with what I'm saying, it gives it credibility. Like that's where we've been in this world. Like that just shows us how our society has been working. And perhaps he's pointing out the problem, maybe our biggest problem when it comes to us seeing things clearly for ourselves rather than just believing what our favorite celebrity or favorite news anchor says. Yeah, not that serious of a video, but just wanted to.
Maybe.
Definitely.
Who else?
No.
I can't name one.
I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Maybe not the people that you're naming earlier.
I'm just saying a name other than Tucker.
Guys, I am just trying to be
Vinny, give me a name.
What's the word? I'm trying to be very not diplomatic, logical.
Me too.
Because
clown. We're gonna keep it pushing.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it pushing. So Nick, actually, we had some interesting new Nick Fuentes news.
Okay,
interesting new Nick Fuentes news.
I think he was on the pod with Aiden Ross.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I know that's the one that he was talking about. I heard there was a lot of M-bombs.
Yeah, those three together, I could see that. I didn't see it. I just saw like clips that he was on it.
Yeah, he was making it seem like they were the ones like pressing the issue.
Oh, really?
And that stuff. But apparently he's getting ready to be on Piers Morgan. That's going to be a big one. Take a look at this.
Difficult to avoid the subject of Nick Fuentes lately. We've quite rightly debated his growing influence and the resulting schisms in the MAGA world. It's now been brought to my attention this has annoyed Nick Fuentes.
Piers Morgan, how many shows is he going to do about me but not have me on the show?
Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's time we had a chat. So give me a call or a direct message if that's your thing, and we'll do the interview, Nick Fuentes. And let's see how you get on.
My boy Mainstream.
So this is when you hit this league.
I mean, see what's happening is a lot of these people that Piers has always wanted to interview Nick Fuentes. PBD has always wanted to interview Nick Fuentes. All these people want Nick on their platform, but they're just scared that their handlers, their donors are going to be upset because he challenges certain things that they're not willing to challenge.
Okay.
Like once you take on a donor or a sponsor, like you pretty much work for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can adjust what you're saying, what you're giving based on the amount of money that they're giving you. Mm-hmm. So now Piers sees a bunch of other people capitalizing off having Nick on the show. They're getting millions of views, and he feels that he's going to have him on. And I think a lot of these people underestimate the value that Nick brings. They get caught up in thinking that it's the rhetoric that make people like him rather than you actually got to stand on these points when he's going to bring them up. Like you actually got to have something like, do you disagree?
Like Candace.
Yeah, like because if you disagree, then you're gonna have to explain exactly why you disagree.
Right.
You're gonna be held accountable to the energy that you may have had with some of these past wars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what were your thoughts on Iraq? You know, what were your thoughts on this and that? So it's good to see him on there, in my opinion. And whenever he goes on these shows, this is more the energy that I get. Hold on, let me play this clip that I just came across. But it'll be interesting to see which Nick shows up. But well, hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. I mean, with the actual.
Appreciate that critical thank you. Take advantage of some Black Friday specials.
He did?
Yeah.
4-year-old in Gaza.
That's dope.
Imagine being a malnourished 4-year-old in Gaza whose house was exploded by bombs, whose parents died, who is starving to death on the side of the road. Imagine being one of those people. And then hearing from a rich Jew in New York, it's just so hard to be Jewish in America now because someone yelled at me in the street today. Imagine you're a malnourished 6-year-old, your whole family was murdered, your whole family got shot in the back of the head trying to get food. And you have some rich Jewish celebrity say this anti-Semitism is out of control. I have enough of a moral compass to say I'm against genocide. I'm against children starving, whether they're white or brown, whether they're Christian or Muslim. I hate seeing children starve to death on purpose. I hate seeing families shot in the back of the head trying to get food. And I think so does the entire world. I think we're all sick and tired of seeing that. But there is one country and its backers in America that don't. The Republicans. And shame on the Republicans.
I like that energy.
Bro, he's about to make a real big push. You could feel the push that he's getting ready to make.
Like he's been waiting for this moment.
Yeah, he could be the most important person in politics for the next 15 years, bro.
But hold on, Dak. The shit that we're talking about right now, you tell me everything he just listed is like news flash to the Republican Party?
It's obvious, bro. It's common sense. Then you got to think about it. Even with the RFK Jr., with a lot of the people that the people tend to get behind. What happens with the parties? The parties get so radicalized to go off into the craziness where one side can't identify what a woman is. The other side, people may think it's radical. A lot of the things that the conservatives are doing, you know, it's hard to compare something to not being able to say what a woman is, but both sides get radicalized to the point where common sense becomes the most refreshing thing. It's like it's almost like, yo, if I just offered you some water right now, you'd be like, I'll take some water, I guess. You know what I mean? You take a glass of water. Now imagine it's 100 degrees out. We in double sessions. It's training camp. And we sweating through our clothes, sweating through everything on the field. And somebody offers you some water or some Gatorade now. It just hits different. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's like what Nick's bringing to the table, how I see it, it's so refreshing because it's so real. It's exactly what people are asking for. It's not all the BS. It's not I'm trying to be politically correct. It's not I just need to push whatever this establishment is pushing. It's not the agenda of my donors. It's not any of these things. I'm saying whatever I want, and it's going to come up, and it's going to be the common sense approach to the situation. It's going to be an America first approach. We're Americans. We've become so accustomed to doing for everybody else and having perhaps not those same opportunities for just as Americans for us to embrace. And a lot of that is our laziness, but we feel like our government's not working for us. All the things that he discusses, who's disagreeing with them? Like every single point that he just made, who would sit here and have a disagreement? What would the disagreement be?
Yeah, for you to come with an argument with anything he just said, I'm interested to hear it. Not because I even want to that I will agree with it. It's just I'm interested to hear what angles you even have for these things that just seem so morally correct. Like kids need to eat. Like I can't believe the Republican Party allowed themselves to get this far away from what I would think why they exist to begin with, or has this always been the bag? Either way, like you know what I'm on. Either way, all that old shit, y'all got to get the hell out the way. Like y'all don't let these cats run it up, get swayed by donors and lobbyists. Like we not off none of that. So it's unbelievable for me how I hear these simple things like you're saying and just logic, and it's just like, oh my God, like y'all had to let like Nick Fuentes had to come through with the flashlight on
like he has to be the one saying this because y'all just so lost. Like this is like literally he's going viral for saying the most simple thing.
What a time. What a time.
Like what does Piers Morgan think is going to happen when they sit down with Nick? He's going to say, you should stop blaming Jewish, or you should stop saying the FAGGOT. You know what I'm saying? You should stop saying that. You should. And Nick says, okay.
All right, moving on.
What does he think the rest of the conversation is going to be based around? Like, it's like you're claiming somebody's rhetoric. We're living in a time where rhetoric and people are more offended by a derogatory comment about a group of people rather than people actually committing a genocide against other people.
Right.
Like the rhetoric is just too much. You can kill all them little Palestinian kids. Kill them.
Don't call nobody nothing.
But don't call somebody the N-word. Don't say anything anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's we draw the line
Jews there altogether. Don't say the Jews. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. We draw the line there. Nah. Yeah, I'm excited to see Nick gonna fire that Nick gonna fire off.
Yeah. Shout out to Samira in the building. I saw Samira just pull up.
Oh yeah, Samira. Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing it all. I'm looking forward to seeing all this play out. It's like Cat Williams said, the truth is coming to light. The truth is coming to light. When you look at the younger group of people, this is probably the first time, or I should say, I was going to say the first time in a long time that young people have taken to politics. And the reason why I say in a long time, think about when young people get into politics. These are the civil rights movements. These may be some of the women's movements, certain things like that. Movements are always led by younger people, or at least from my recollection. So when you have a group of young people that are following a guy like Nick Fuentes, that are pushing for America first, that are prioritizing Christian values, that are calling out the whole connection between the quote unquote Judeo-Christian values, they're standing on Christ, they're standing on America, it's going to bring about some change. And this is what they're scared of. They want a Charlie Kirk. They want Charlie Kirk who's going to come in and convince everybody that Muslims are bad. What good have Muslims ever done in the country? They need that type of rhetoric, because then it just gives a cover to a lot of the Zionist, pro-Israel, Jewish talking points. But people just aren't sensitive to a lot of the things that have had us most sensitive. Like when you mention the Holocaust, it's not moving and shaking a lot of these young kids. Like they're just like, okay. Like,
yeah, I mean, cats are growing up at a time where, I mean, I don't know how much of that is still covered in school. But you know, when I was in school, I remember like books like Anne Frank, and you know, those were our introductions to what the Holocaust was, and Schindler's List and Auschwitz and different things of that there. So I don't know how much of that is still pushed in college or in high school. But you know, with the internet being so, you know, innovative and rapid as far as information, and I'm sure the curriculum that they're even being given now, they're given a more opportunity to do a lot more research, hear a lot more opinions, see a lot more people on podcasts that may have never spoke about, et cetera, et cetera. So we're out of the phase of just like reading some old dusty book and then putting it back on the shelf, and that being what we know about what has happened about a certain group of people. Now we're able to do a lot more research. TikTok is involved, et cetera, et cetera. So there's just a lot more, you know, like Candace does say this, like when you lie one time, the thing is you have to have a really good memory, because you're going to have to continue that lie for long after. And so when the kids are dependent on ChatGPT to write papers and things of that nature, they're getting a lot more than we were given when we were told to read 3 or 4 chapters. And so I'm interested to see, like, as they as we get more opportunity to learn more about situations in our history, I mean, how y'all gonna keep amping it?
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna keep it turned? Or is it gonna be like, oh, okay, like, I mean, like they just may not be on that type of time. So the young cats, they just don't know. There's young cats, they just literally don't know. So we'll see.
Yo, I'm realizing more and more why sports is so important and why they pay athletes so much and entertainers, whether musician, actor, actress, across the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just a distraction. When I think about us being 22, 23, 24, 20, we weren't thinking about politics.
No.
It was, yo, we got our first black president. Life is good. Ain't nobody tripping off. Like, you know what I mean? That was the mindset. Nobody was paying attention to policies. Nobody was paying attention to even Israel. I didn't know anything about the Holocaust. Like nobody looked into 9/11. Nobody looked into any of these things. Now, these young kids, it's cool. This is their sport to a lot of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
They see a guy like Nick Fuentes dressed up in a suit, and now they got people wanting to be like Nick Fuentes instead of wanting to be like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Or wanted to be, and this is a sport. This is a sport, and these young kids, they're taking it
seriously. Mm-hmm.
They're taking it seriously, and they're gonna run with it. And they're not. You can't just. These young kids, bro, they're getting into it because they feel like it's a cause that they need to, like, as a purpose almost.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just gonna move them off of their stance as easily as you would somebody who may need to put food on the table. I got kids, I got a family. Yo, these young kids are like, bro, we're not with any of that. It'll be an honor to be canceled. Like, that's how they looking at it.
No, yeah.
Like,
right.
Like, they looking at it like that's a level that you get to getting canceled. They don't care about it. They don't have the same, like, you're not moving them by saying, oh, you sound like a Nazi. You sound like, y'all gonna keep telling these kids that, and they're gonna keep leaning more and more into the things that you're telling them that they are.
Because that algorithm hype them up when they got that shock factor, that shock value.
Facts.
So yeah, they, like you said, it's becoming a sport now to kind of, it's almost like the quarter zip. Like
Yeah.
Like it started off as a little joke on the Starbucks and the matcha. Now I'm going through the talk and all I'm seeing is cats go from YN to quarter zip. Like I ain't off none of that. Like they're turning, it's like the third round of Eminem and 8 Mile. Like you keep blasting all what you think I'm insecure about. How about I get on stage and tell you everything that you gonna use? Now you ain't got nothing to say. So what's up? Like when you have that, that's always been a way to just kind of get people to get off of the stuff that they think they got on you. And so that's what's happening. They're revolutionizing what you thought canceling was. They're like, oh, we off that. Like when we canceled on the internet, like we actually got motion.
Yeah.
It's when we're accepted, we're starting to notice that y'all be on some other time. Y'all about something else. So we started to enjoy the little cancellation because now you go Andrew Tate the joint. You're gonna be like, cool, I ain't around. Or you going Candace Owens the joint. I ain't allowed. I'm demonetized. We're seeing all the big wigs that are making movement been demonetized, canceled, et cetera, et cetera. So sorry, that just don't hold no more value. What y'all gonna do now?
Yeah,
you got to get creative, I guess.
Yeah, we're seeing the shift. Like we're witnessing the shift right now. Mm-hmm. And it's a shift. It's a combination of all these things that we already mentioned. It's the knowledge, the more access. It's the lack of caring. It's now we're to the point where now we're putting ourselves first. Like that's the courageous thing to do. Like we're doing the research. It's just a different time. Absolutely. It's a different time. And shout out to Samira. Wanted to highlight. She said she's 1 year sober from alcohol today. Definitely want to.
Oh, shout out to you,
Samira. Some love for that. That's big.
Absolutely.
That's big.
Absolutely.
We encourage whatever you need to do to become the best version of yourself. That's what we're on. So definitely showing love to that. Absolutely. And let me show you this next video. So this was, I want to say, was it Times Square? No, it was a protest in DC. So take a look at this, and you tell me if the kids are as nervous and as scared as we may have been in the past to talk about certain things. And real quick, what I wanted to say before we look at this, what are they going to do? with these young kids? What are you going to threaten? Like how they did at the schools? Remember when people were starting to do the pro-Palestine? Like they put together, like, I don't want to say, I don't even know what you would call them, but they were doing the pro-Palestine, a lot of the schools marching, protesting, free Palestine, whatever. And a lot of the pro-Israel forces, Jewish Americans, they were saying like, hey, we're taking our money away. We're not now putting all that money into Penn. We're not putting all that money into Columbia. We're not putting that money into these private schools that are allowing these kids to protest. Matter of fact, we want a list of their names. We'll make sure that we never hire them. What are you going to not hire the next generation of young kids? And you think that the country's just going to stand back and allow you to make these threats? All it's going to do is show perhaps the power that you do have. So now when you make these threats about, oh, we're not going to hire you, now people are looking at it from a standpoint like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm on top of my stuff. We need to be prioritizing Americans. We need to be prioritizing this particular issue. So therefore, nobody can hold us to that point where they're saying like, hey, we're no longer going to hire us. All this stuff is just going to backfire and expose. It's going to expose a lot of things. But check this out.
A fair warning, what you're about to see is a bit graphic. Don't watch this if you're eating. Protesters inside and outside of Union Station in Washington, D.C. did a performance art. They staged this protest, this performance art protest, where leaders from Donald Trump, Netanyahu, Marco Rubio, Antony Blinken, and Joe Biden dined on the body parts of Gazans. I have to say that Netanyahu's mask is really, really creepy because it looks pretty darn close to how he actually looks. Netanyahu, it's like, is he wearing a mask all the time, every day? Maybe. Doesn't really look that different. So you could see them there eating the various different body parts. This was called Israel First Friendsgiving Dinner. Figured it was appropriate to show you this while you're probably about ready to eat. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You could see them there drinking blood and eating organs, and they even had a menu.
Which, by the way, total side note, but apparently eating organs is a lot healthier than eating the muscles that we tend to focus on. But side note, what are you thinking so far? I don't even know if we're going to continue to play this whole video, but what do you think when you see that?
The rules are different, man.
Yeah.
The rules are different. It's creativity. It's innovation. There's social media. The algorithm is picking it up and it's launching it. You're right. What are they going to do? And I'm glad it's something that we don't have to figure out. We can sit back, and when you're on the right side of truth, watch it develop and continue to see that this game it's not being fought. It's just totally different now. It's a totally different ball game you're in now with these kids.
You're not finna bully people.
No.
Like, people aren't accepting it. This is where, like, when you're making fun of, like, you're presenting it in a certain way, like, what are you going to do? Like, we're presenting every single argument, and now all you can say is, oh, it's anti-Semitic because you're making fun of us killing dead babies. So now it's like you're more upset about us making fun of it rather than you actually doing it. So this is yeah. I don't know. I don't need to see too much more of that. Let's pivot real quick. I want to show you, before we start, touching on a little bit of the Venezuela one, I want you to look at this Charlie Kirk video. This was, I'm not sure when exactly this was taken, but take a look at this video.
Is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state.
As we go through this, I want you to replace the word Judaism with Muslim. Whenever he's talking about Muslim, think about Judaism. They always try to push this, like, this agenda around Islam that it's so much stricter, or you don't believe in free speech, all these things. What happens when you talk about Judaism in America? What happens when you talk about Israel in America? All this free speech stuff, people try to act like you got free speech. What happened when Kyrie Irving just decided to tweet a link to a documentary? Was that free speech? Was that the freedom to post and tell people whatever? He didn't even say anything. When people got upset with Kyrie Irving for saying I can't be anti-Semitic because I'm a Semite, but is he allowed to say that? He had to do that 6-point apology, take courses with this Jewish rabbi, apologize in public. He had to go through the whole humiliation ritual just to get his job back. But people want to act as if it's the it's the Muslims that are preventing free speech. Think about all the cancellations that we're talking about with censorship of Nick Fuentes. Why? Why are you trying to cancel him? Is that free speech? All this stuff is it's just, yo, they present things, and I'm seeing this as a reoccurring thing where it's like the very things that you're doing, you just accuse the other people of doing it, to the point where people will just not look at you doing exactly what you're accusing other people of doing.
Compatible with Western values. Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try.
Is he describing Israel? Is he describing Gaza? Like, where is he describing? Is he describing? This is a dangerous argument as well. It's a dangerous argument because when you say most Muslim countries and all this other stuff, people are eventually going to circle back and say, well, if Muslims have done all these things to these countries, why have Jewish people been kicked out of so many countries? What would those countries say?
Get both sides of the story.
Right. Like, people are going to start asking these questions. And this is what I don't think that people were banking on when they try to push us in these directions. They're not banking on people actually doing the research, maybe looking in other directions than they're being directed to by Charlie Kirk. Like, you don't get to say, and people are now looking at it from a standpoint. I don't know if this is the case with all these Muslim countries. I really don't know. Yeah. Oh, y'all tell me that gay people get thrown off of buildings in these Muslim countries. I don't know that. Could it have happened? Perhaps. But imagine what people were saying happens to gay people after Jussie Smollett, you know, like in America. Like, imagine what people in other countries were looking at, like, oh my God, they were going to hang Jussie Smollett, like, just for being gay. Like, he's a famous actor. They hang famous gay actors. Like the propaganda game. We don't know what's really going on in these countries.
And I'm glad that's a good stance to have, though, because it just makes you do your research at the end of the day.
Right. Like, go look into this. You don't. Charlie Kirk doesn't get to sit here and tell me that the Muslims are bad and Christians serve Jews, and expect me to just sit here and not do any research on that, just accept that. Yeah. Like, you could tell me whatever it is that you want, but now not only am I doing the research, now I'm actually offended because now I know that you're trying to play me. And I think that's what a lot of these young kids are thinking. That's why they're not moving in the direction of Charlie Kirk. They're moving in the direction of Nick Fuentes. They're not moving in the direction of all these other people that you know are lying right in front of your face. Y'all are lying right in front of my face. I'm doing the research, and then you're expecting me to just sit back, fall back, and not say anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, the slick oil salesman with the 3-piece suits. Sorry, we're not off none of that. Like, we're not trusting nobody that comes through. If they say they're in politics, we're checking it twice.
Yeah. That's it, bro. That's it.
Religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is,
I don't get it. How is he saying that in an Islamic state, they're commanded to make their state more Islamic? Like, isn't that what a lot of Christians in America are pushing for right now? Like, why do we think that we can police? This only works when we look at Muslims and Islam as the boogeyman. This only works when you look at Islam as the boogeyman. And we have fallen victim to that. If we're being honest, we do look at Islam. I know I do. Growing up, I looked at Islam as a more radical, violent religion. I looked at it as that. Even in the region, I can sit here and look at And there's a lot of people who probably still look at it as that. They can look at clear as day what's happening between Israel and Palestine and still see the Muslims as the more radical, violent group.
Mm-hmm.
Just
it's
because.
It's like embedded.
It's embedded in us. And it's not just one thing. It's not just, it's definitely a big thing. Like, oh, this is the white group of people, the Europeans. This is the brown group of people. It is that. It is that, but it goes beyond that. Like, it's not just that. People, it's the indoctrination that we've had over and over and over for years. 9/11, us not understanding or caring why 9/11 even happened. Think about it. Did you even know why 9/11 happened when it happened?
Mm-mm.
Did anybody explain to us why 9/11 happened?
No, I thought Cass was just, it was up.
Could our parents even explain? I don't even think my parents even knew to explain it to me.
I know my parents didn't know.
Yeah, like, so we had 9/11 happen. And this is where I think America has to do better overall when it comes to our education, because we get indoctrinated. We don't push and we don't encourage people to do their own independent investigation. Everything to us is just accepting, memorization, like repeating the things that we're taught rather than actually doing our independent investigation. How does a 9/11 happen and we have no idea why 9/11 happened? Osama bin Laden writes a letter why he decided to pull off 9/11. And we don't look at it in school. We don't study it. We don't talk about it, have a conversation. We don't address it, any of these things. This is American history, the most significant thing that has happened in our lifetime. We never took one day in school to learn anything about it. As far as the why. Like, it's hard to take this stuff seriously. Keep going.
I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality of life?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, from prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been born here.
You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture.
Yo, did you just peep that?
That little
You don't
slight.
have to caveat it. Where it's so funny how he's getting asked a question, and this is what we've talked about over and over, where he's getting asked a question about Arabs, let's say, but he categorizes everybody as Muslims. And the guy says, is this a Muslim religion? Is this a religious thing like you're saying? Or do you just have a problem with certain people that happen to practice the religion?
Fair question.
And what's his response? Well, you don't have to caveat it like that. But what do we have to do in America? In America, we can't say like, oh, this is a Jewish issue. You have to say specifically, oh, no, this is Israel. No, this is this person. No, this is Bibi Netanyahu. There's no problem with the culture of Judaism. You can't say these things. Like, this is what people are waking up to see. They're seeing Christians who will jump out the window and be passive pawns for whatever reason in order to support and to get us to see Judaism in a particular way. It's like, yo, is this all just planned? Very convenient where you just have a religion and you have the very group of people that they created a religion in Christ, his name, who happened to die in a very ironic way when it then thousands of years later, you fast forward and now the Christians are doing whatever they can to uphold Judaism. Like, it's just a very interesting dynamic there when you look at what actually played out while Christ was alive. Mm-hmm. And then to fast forward, now the Christians, the people that they created the religion in, they're the biggest defenders and supporters of Jewish people doing whatever it is that they want on this world and feeling that Christians just have to support it. Mm-hmm. But you can't, you don't have to, there's no caveat when it comes to Jewish people. Or we have to have that caveat, I should say, when it comes to Jewish people and separating rather than classifying like Charlie Kirk did with the entire Muslim population. It's just certain things to point out and just certain things to recognize.
A lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Ceases to exist. We don't have unified language. When you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedism compatible with the teachings of Blackstone? Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do.
This is exactly the case in Israel and the case in Palestine. Those people can't leave. They don't have passports. I don't even think they vote. The voting, I got to clarify that one. But these people don't have the same rights as the Israelis.
Mm-hmm.
And this was their land. But Charlie Kirk sitting here as if like, this is, man, let's
do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Yeah, and you know what, just on a passing point on that, it's most of the time, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even.
It's suicidal to import millions of Muslims. Perhaps that may be the case. Perhaps let's say that that's his stance and he feels that way. It's just so funny hearing this in a country that right now is clearly being influenced to a degree that most Americans are not comfortable with when it comes to the Jewish American / Zionist / pro-Israel influence on our government and politicians.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to fearmonger us into protecting us from the big bad Muslims and Islam taking over our country and taking over this influence while we're already being taken over.
Like, point the finger at that guy who's robbing the bank as
Right.
I'm robbing the bank.
Right. It's like we're currently, to your analogy, where the bank is being robbed. And we're sitting here saying, yo, but you can't support them because they may end up robbing y'all bank.
Yeah.
They may end up robbing y'all bank soon. Yeah, we haven't seen them rob a bank, here, but the current people who are robbing it
can happen.
We're kind of cool with them. We have the same way of life. They accept gay people, we accept gay people. So yeah, we're rocking with them. They can keep robbing us. Like that's really what they're saying.
Right. Like really just trying to strong arm you into a position where you just like it's almost like when you get a salesperson that like offers you quote unquote a deal, but it's like the price was already ridiculous. They knock a couple dollars off and they act like they're doing you the favor. So that's what I'm hearing when I'm hearing them speak. I'm just like, you do know, like, you're not doing me, like, you're not giving me any game because we're currently being gamed. You're not solving no issue because we currently have that issue. And why are you looking past that issue? Or why you don't speak about that issue? Like, why is it so easy to sweep that under the rug? And that's what the new generation ain't going for. They're not going for no more of that, hey, Blunt covered my eyes with sheets and then tell me it's raining outside, like my dad used to say. Yeah. Like, it's just not happening like that no more. The cats know what's going on. Y'all done, and see what happened is y'all wouldn't have got caught if you guys weren't so disgustingly corrupt about it. If you weren't so blatantly disrespectful in our eyes about it, maybe you could have continued to have another run like you've been running it. But when we sit back here and we have these platforms and we have these people that are willing to get canceled and we have these people that are willing to give the truth, and they're not even trying to necessarily sway us one direction or the other. It seems like people are trying to sway us a particular direction because they're providing us the honest perspective and truth that we didn't have, to the point that it seems radical. It seems like an opposition. It's like, no, nigga, you got me in a lie, so any bit of truth sounds like crazy to us. And it's like, we're not off none of that no more. Like, you can't, like you said, fearmonger us. You can't do any of that stuff no more. Cat's eyes is open. We holding all people accountable. And to be quite honest, if you old and you wear a nice suit, we just don't trust you if you say you're in politics. That's y'all's fault. Y'all burnt this down. Y'all burnt it down. Y'all abused it. You blackmailed people left and right on it. You tried to squeeze every bit of fruit or juice out of that fruit. And now look what y'all stand. Y'all don't have a foot to stand on with some of this garbage, man. So at the end of the day, people are getting to a place where they want ethical people in position of authority. They want people that are just going to do what's right and what's right for humanity, what's right for America. We're not off none of that. Oh, well, you know, these big corporations can do what they need to do, or they can write the taxes, or no, everybody's being held accountable to BS. If you're going to do BS, we need to at least know what it is, so whether or not we approve it as the people. And I love the young generation fighting back for that. They don't care about your corporate jobs. They don't care about your $47,000 a year. They don't care about these degrees that y'all told them to go get, and then the employment rate is sky high. They don't care about not being able to. The average first-time home buyer is 53 years old. They're not getting any benefit. They're not winning. They're not getting any bit of the benefit that you told them over here. The American dream that you kept selling them, that they were once going to be able to do. You lied to them. They upset. They hurt. They're scorned. They're triggered. They just don't trust nothing. They barely trust their parents anymore because their parents are a spitting image of what y'all is saying. Mm-hmm. So they testing and checking everything, and they're going off of what they feel. That's a dangerous place, because the oppressor typically tells you how to feel. When you're in a bad relationship, that man tells you, no, it's going to be all right. Look, I was just tripping. Nah, you're not going to tell me. I'm leaning into what feels good. And remember what we always say, when you start tying in and you start searching for what religion really stands for, if we break it down even to its core, God gave you exactly what you need to do to navigate this world. It's intuition. If it feels right, run it. If it don't do it. Sorry. What y'all been telling us this dream about doesn't feel like a dream no more. It's starting to really reflect as a nightmare, and the young bulls ain't off none of that. We're not going to $150,000 in debt, struggling to get an apartment, can't find a significant other or spouse, can't afford to live where we grow up, like your man said. What you're not giving us no benefit. We can't even afford to take care of our parents. And y'all get up here with these suits, start lying to us on top of that. Then we hear y'all funding other countries, et cetera, why the people that have stayed loyal to America for this long don't have enough to do anything and provide and take care of their parents. We don't want to hear none of this shit, bro. They got me turned for them. I'm right behind them, rooting them on, shouting them out with a Wang Half shirt on.
With the Wang Half shirt on.
They got me turned. I hate that stuff, man. They done sold these kids alive. What they supposed to do now? They can't even get a job.
Mm-hmm. Like you can't dangle anything in front of them that's going to deter them. Like you used to be able to dangle that in front of us, where we get distracted, where it's like, hey, go to college, then you get this job, then you follow, then you get the white picket fence. They used to be able to dangle these things in front of a lot of us, and they still do for a lot of people. But a lot of these youngins, they're not going for that. Mm-hmm. They want something more out of life. They're leaning into their purpose, perhaps. They're standing on the things that are important to them, not the things that you think that they should stand on because you're bullying them into it. Mm-hmm. They're just not with it. And even with this comment, so shout out to Paula Wright, and shout out to all the comments we've been.
Yeah, the big numbers. Shout out to all the people in the game right now.
Shout out. Make sure y'all continue to like. Appreciate that for the algorithm. For sure. But what you think about this? Two things can be true. The Israel lobby and Islamism are problems. I got an issue with how you wrote this. I got to be real. Why is it, this is the caveat conversation again. Why is it that two things can be true? The Israel lobby can be a problem, but Islamism can be problem. So you're pretty much saying the politics around Israel are the problem. But then when it comes to Islam, you're saying the religion is the problem. Am I reading this incorrectly, or do you read that the same way, BK?
I see what you're saying, because one that lobby puts that preface on there, so right. It can be taken.
You're trying to separate the two.
Yeah,
no, perhaps it's so funny how the culture, like the religion that says they're the chosen people,
is not the problem.
Right. That's not the problem. That's not the problem.
We put the lobby on that one.
The group that is committing the genocide, that we're just, oh, well, that's not Jewish people. That's just the lobby. Well, who's policing the lobby, right? Because we're identified a lot of times with the most radical pieces of our culture. Mm-hmm. But and this is the thing when it comes to every other group, you can say that, Black people got an issue with this. You could say that the LGBTQ group, they got an issue with this. You could say that Italians got an issue with this. But when it comes to Jewish people, you have to be very particular in separating between, well, I'm not talking about Jewish people. I'm talking about just the Israel lobby. I'm talking about just the pro-Zion. No, you don't get to say that Islam is a problem, but then have the caveat of, well, this just the Israel lobby's the problem. No, this is the difference between Nick Fuentes and a whole bunch of other people. This is where him and Tucker don't have a divide, or have their divide, where it's like we have to walk on these eggshells, and it's racist, bro. It's elitist, and it's indoctrination in our minds to the point where we don't even realize it. I'm not saying that, Porla, and I'm just using your comment as an example. I'm not even saying that you intended it a certain way, but I'm telling you what I read it as. The Israel lobby's bad. That's a problem. The Israel lobby's a problem, but Islamism's a problem. And Islamism is a problem because it's doing what to us right now? I just don't like that. Here we have a country and a religion that has been protected in this country for so long, that we held in the highest regards, that we walk on eggshells with everything that they do, but you can't criticize that. Literally the things that Charlie Kirk was talking about in his video, where it's like, yeah, you go to these Muslim countries, you can't even criticize the religion. Look at what Porla just wrote. You can't criticize the religion. You still got to make it about, oh, well, it's the politicians. You know what I mean? It's not the Jewish culture. It's just the politicians. You get what I'm saying?
It just gets convenience.
Yeah, I don't like that. It doesn't sit right with me. Because we can all see it and act as if, oh, well, it's not an issue. No, it's an issue. Just watch a lot of these young kids. This is why Nick Fuentes gets the views that he gets the support that he gets from the people. I'm not talking about like Adam Sosnick saying, well, what famous people are found getting? No, this is why the people rock with what Nick's doing, because he's willing to call BS on this type of stuff. So just my opinion, just something that I'm noticing. Let me keep going with this.
Multicultural, because there was an example there was a school a few months ago during Easter which cancelled Easter celebrations out of respect for other faiths. So it's not as if the word multicultural and multi-diverse doesn't include Christianity.
No, and again, this is the red-green axis, and Britain is at the forefront of this. You have the Marxists that have infiltrated your government and the Islamists that are coming to your country. And when they combine together, they both agree on one thing. They have huge disagreements on a lot. They hate the West, and they want to see it broken.
Okay.
All right. You want to get into this Venezuela convo?
Yeah, I'm very interested in it. I saw a couple people talking about it.
Yeah, so let's get into this Venezuela. So I'll give you the viewpoint from, it looks like a soldier. I don't know what soldier this is, or let's just take a look. Are you guys seeing that on the screen?
Venezuela, because that's what you. Well, America, you ready to be at war with Venezuela? Because that's what you got. Donald Trump just announced that he's closed the airspace over that country, and because, one, that's a violation of their sovereignty, and number two, because it's being enforced with our military, it constitutes an act of war. So that's where we're at. No congressional oversight, no declaration of war. It's based upon a foundation of lies, from saying TDA was a gang connected to Maduro that was wreaking havoc in America, to saying he's a narco trafficker and responsible for drugs coming into the US, when in fact he supplies those drugs to Europe. And on top of all that, he just let the former president of Honduras, who brought 400 tons into this country, facing 45 years in prison. He pardoned him. He doesn't give a shit about drugs. So we're starting a war. Don't know why. Nobody knows what's going on. It's going to go bad, because if you look at the trajectory into it, it's the worst we've had in modern history. So buckle up.
What you thinking?
Soldiers back at war for somebody who ain't willing to pop a grape in a food fight.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and then inconsistencies, And then now we got to put more and more of the military's life at stake. And it's going to get nasty. If it hits like it's going to hit, it's going to get nasty.
So Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. So when we always talk about following the money, I'm always looking at it from that standpoint. Like, why are we getting involved in this in Venezuela? Like, what is the issue?
It's always,
you know what I mean? So, and then I always, I've heard like the whole Russia, China thing, and I'm hearing like, well, what does Russia and China have to do with all this? But apparently Russia and China are very much tied into Venezuela. So what is this war really about? And I think Maya was mentioning it yesterday or the day before, where it's like, if we get ready to go to war, let's say in the Middle East, where there's a lot of oil reserves, if we have issues with some of these countries that provide us oil, wouldn't it make sense to have a backup? Wouldn't it make sense to have another land that you can control where we can pretty much control their oil reserves to make sure that we have everything that we need from these people? Perhaps this is why Russia and China have some type of relationship where, let me, I'm gonna read from ChatGPT real quick. I just looked up as far as Russia and China's relationship with Venezuela. So it says Russia and Venezuela, the military cooperation. Russia has supplied Venezuela with weapons, aircraft, tanks, air defense systems, and military advisors. Russian military personnel have visited or stationed temporarily in Venezuela during joint exercises. They have a partnership for oil and energy, where Russia's state companies, Rosneft, Gazprom, invested heavily in Venezuela's oil fields. Moscow helped Venezuela keep its oil industry afloat when U.S. sanctions hit. The geopolitical alliance. Russia supports Nicolas Maduro politically on the world stage. Both countries oppose U.S. influence and see themselves as part of a multipolar world. When we start looking into things like that, it's like, oh, this is a bit different. Like, this is not just about America picking on a random country, Venezuela. So let me read a little bit about the relationship between China and Venezuela. So massive loans. China has given Venezuela over $60 billion in loans over the past 15 years. Many loans were paid back in oil shipments, oil for loan deals. That's interesting. Obviously, 60 billion in the past 15 years. That sounds pretty consistent with what Israel is looking to get in their new deal, where they're seeking, I think, it's going to be around like 80 billion over the next 20 years, something of that nature. So clearly, if China has that strong of a relationship with Venezuela, that's a pretty decent, $60 billion in loans. Now, they said that they paid them back in oil shipments, but that's a clear, strong relationship, it seems to be. So obviously, when we talk about us being at war with, I'm talking specifically about America being at war with China and Russia and having this conflict with them, it just seems like Venezuela is the pawn that's being used by both, by all the power countries to kind of just be, something that now people are fighting over, where it's not just about Venezuela. It's about who can control Venezuela's oil reserves. And I believe they have some other natural resources as well. But it says China has built or funded power plants, highways, rail projects, telecommunications, mining operations, and they hold big stakes in Venezuela's oil fields and refining operations. So clearly this goes above and beyond just what Venezuela, clearly I don't think, I have no idea if this is true, but just looking at it from afar and just understanding what I currently understand about it, it doesn't seem like this is at all about any drugs. It doesn't seem like this is what Trump is trying to make it out to be, as if, oh, we're going in there because they have an election or that they have an illegitimate president. Even when you look at it from that standpoint, like, okay, this is the same thing that happened in America. Trump was saying that Biden was an illegitimate president.
Right, it happens, right?
Like, America's got its own issues to always be putting our nose in everybody else's issues. Like, this is it just gets us, and all it does is just create enemies. It just creates enemies. Every time we try to bully a country, it just creates enemies to the point where eventually this energy is going to come right back to us.
That karma you were talking about last week.
Yeah, eventually there's going to be a group of countries that rally together because they're sick of the big bad bully. And what ends up happening, those countries that it's the enemy of my enemy. You know what? We may not rock with each other, but we could work together for this common purpose.
But we can come together for this.
And that's what I see. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's costing the Americans left and right. I mean, every generation has to deal with some type of war, some type of reason behind war, some type of, it's every time. Like, peace is just never an option.
Yeah. And it causes us money. Even like spiritually, like imagine how much hate is just out there for America that Americans are not even aware of. Like we walking around low key, we don't like our government. And then other people from other countries, they looking at us like they don't probably understand that we don't like our government. It's no different. It's you can look at Israel. There's a lot of people in Israel that can't stand Bibi Netanyahu. But to be real, a lot of us, we don't look at this, that. We look at like, yo, Israel, look what they're doing against Palestine. You know what I mean? Like we don't always just separate it. I know I don't always do it. But it just creates, when we get involved in a lot of these conflicts, then it sets you up to now just have a lot of bad energy coming back your way to where you got to answer for at some point. So
what I keep seeing something about boats. What happened?
Oh yeah, because we've been firing at a lot of their boats. We were firing at their boats for months. And a lot of people are saying, I know Vaughn's been talking about. I'm not sure if you saw Vaughn's as far as with the fishermen.
Yeah, like that's what I thought.
Yeah, so apparently a lot of these boats that are fishing boats, America is striking them, saying that they're drug cartel boats.
Just saying that.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't even, and I forget who was saying it, but they were saying, I think there was some like military person, and they were saying that even when they do raids, like the Coast Guards and everything, they do the raids on a lot of these boats, even the ones that they assume are drug boats, a lot of them end up not being drug boats. Like the ones that are labeled like, hey, these are drug boats. We're going to actually go and I guess get on the boat, look for drugs. A lot of them aren't. So it's like, here you were just saying that these people are, these are drug boats. You're striking them, out the sky with drones or whatever else you're using to destroy the boats, kill these people. There's no accountability. There's just no accountability. There's some vicious stuff going on in this world, bro. I wasn't even going to play the clip, but I saw another clip in Israel where there were two soldiers, I guess, with Hamas or Palestine, who knows, and they had given up. And the Israeli soldiers, like they gave themselves up and they just decided to fire on them and then bury them in the rest of the debris and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of wild. But we're just living in very demonic times, like across the board. Like we're living in demonic times. Let's say if I'm God looking at this thing from above, looking at it from afar, I should say, I'm looking at the world like, yeah, they're on a short leash. Like we are on a short leash. Humanity. Because it's going to get to a point where eventually it's going to be game over, where it's like, y'all failed. Let's we tried with this
hard
team,
reset.
we got to bring a new team in.
Yeah, hard reset. Y'all wilder.
Yeah.
Shout out to looks like Silver Sister on here. The United States has been engaged in military actions in over 70 countries with no world peace in sight. Appreciate that super chat, Silver Sister 8780. Yeah, I mean, like peace just I don't even see that on the menu. Yeah. Like tell me where the peaceful, like we tell our kids to handle things amicably. We tell our children, we tell people to walk away from situations that's going to escalate. But every time one of these little guys get in an office, an Oval Office, they find a way to position it where we can be as radical as possible, have no conversation, shoot first, ask questions later. in a very just childish way of responding to things that will ultimately impact our people. I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, just hit the boats, when I know there's a possibility that my people's American people military lives are at hand with a retaliation that's possible, but also for the people on the other side in Venezuela. And who are we to think that they would operate in a different state, because we're the same people that seem to like to fund wars across the pond regardless. If there's an opportunity to if somebody needs an opportunity to show how lit and how turnt their military is, we all for that. That's all we know. All we know how to resolve a question, an issue, a disagreement. That's all we know how to do. We don't know how to sit in an office when all the big wigs get together and handle something like we tell our children to do. We're not setting a good example at all. We telling the kids, if you don't believe in my religion, let's get radical and physical. If you don't believe in our our beliefs politically, let's get radical. Let's Charlie Kirk this thing. Like, when does peace ever make it onto y'all's menu as the main course? When does conversation ever be looked at and seen as the way? Or is it always, oh, I want to put my nuts on the table and show y'all how big they are? But you're not putting your nuts. They're not your nuts. You're putting somebody else's nuts, somebody else's child. I just don't understand how us as the people have let this shit get so far away from alignment. We gotta this needs to be reconfigured to some degree, because the people that got the problem ain't the one in the problem, in the conflict. Why are we can't keep letting that man is a father with a family. We can't keep letting them go handle somebody else who wants to drag their nuts onto tables with people that they're not willing to go talk to them about. We can't continue to allow that, and we're not standing for that. We want the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Hand on the Bible. But we're not getting that in return as the people. Don't tell me to worship the Bible if all you're going to do is lie on it in the court of law. Don't get sworn into office if all I know you're going to do is lie on the Bible about it. We're not leaving a better America than the way we found it for the people behind us. We look chaotic. We look like we don't know what's going on. You know how embarrassing it is to now get to this age and realize how much shit we don't know?
Yeah.
And to sit here and have to tell kids the shit we've been telling them has been a fucking wrong and it's a lie? Yeah. It's just flat out embarrassing what they're doing to us. We got the family dynamics looking ridiculous. We don't know a real apple from a fake apple. We don't know why we in conflicts with other people. We calling certain religions, they're the bad ones, but then the other ones are robbing us blind. What we look like we look like a fool the way that we're operating, and it's because we keep allowing these leaders to keep pushing these political structures that are built off corruption. Like you always say, and the foundation is broken. It was faulty from the beginning. It should have been removed, and now we're at the point where we checking the shit. If the shit look phony, we ain't buying it. If you come in office talking about if you start pulling the trigger, talking about I'm ready to go get somebody, I'm ready to go off somebody, I'm ready to go spin. If another politician gets in office after us, the people, done voted them in there and goes in, starts talking about how he gonna spin, we get him out of there. We don't want no more spinning. We want conversation. Use your skills. To be honest, that's what made a lot of people fall in love with Obama. It was the way he was able to carry that dialogue. You know what I mean? People fell in love with the word salad, not realizing on the back end what was going on. These people ain't even giving us the word salad. They so disrespectful in the way they operating, got all these people in different wars. Like, it's just messy for this older generation to leave America like this. For the children, what they gonna do? And we can't let them leave it. We can't leave them like this. This ain't right. It's not right. It's not honorable. Too many lives have been taken. Too many people have died in cold blood. Too many wars have been had for us to just continue to leave America in this space and say, well, the next generation to fill it out. That's why we get on these podcasts and we speak so passionate about just putting a bright light to the truth and the honesty so we can have some change. It's hard to change when you don't know the truth to begin with. And so that's the point of this. This is why this is taken such passionately, because it's like, damn, we've got people making decisions with the lie. So guess what the next generation gonna have to do? Carry the lie. They don't know why like you said, 9/11. They don't know. There are people to this day who don't know. And so it's like, when the information gonna get out? Because clearly the people we put in office ain't gonna tell us. Clearly gonna tell us the fishermen had drug boats, but they don't. Like, we can't keep getting off on dudes dressing up in suits, putting their right hand on the Bible, so help me God, and stayed up looking at their people and lying. That's just we're not doing that. And if you're religion, I know you shouldn't be. You can't sit in the back of the classroom and keep allowing this shit. You can't keep sitting in the back of the class and keep allowing cats to keep doing it. Because at some point, somebody got to take this shit personally. At some point, somebody got to be enraged. At some point, somebody got to be radical to let the people know, like, bro, you can't keep putting your hand on what I believe in and then lying on it. And then I'm supposed to say, well, it's the government. Like, they get some get out of jail free pass, like it's Monopoly.
Yeah.
Nah, the principal's got to, I don't care if we talking church or state. Why is honesty never involved? Why is the truth never involved? It's like you get a pardon to lie. And how did we get here? How did we let it get here where you are allowed to go into politics where you represent a big group of people and lie to them and not be held accountable? This is ridiculous.
It's a few different things, and it's what it's always been. It's what it's always been. That's
right.
Why the fear mongering is so important, because it's like everything's decisions. So you may not like this option that I present to you over here, but if I make this option a whole lot worse, then you'll start to see this initial option that you didn't like, as if it was just by itself, you wouldn't rock with it, but comparing it to the other thing, you're okay with it. They've been using this tactic for a very long time with us. Everything is, just think about on our jobs. Most of us don't believe in our jobs, believe in whatever it is that we're selling as salespeople. But if they pay you a certain amount, you're going to walk around and act like you do. This is the same amount. They've just incentivized it to the point where, okay, you can't criticize this group because these are the bad things that are going to happen. It's not, you can't criticize this group because they're actually, positive. They're actually, they have good integrity. They have principles. It's not these things, because if they had all these things, it wouldn't be a problem to criticize it, because then you would pretty much be shining a light and highlight the reasons why it is principled, the reason why it has integrity. But instead, with the things that do have integrity, that they just tell us don't look that way, and they'll only present one option to us, one way of doing things, that now with social media and everything being exposed, people are not rocking with it. People are simply not rocking with it. And perhaps it's just a cycle that has occurred many times before, but because we don't know our history, we look at everything as it happens as the first time that it occurs. This is why I'm sitting here wondering, like, truthfully, I'm wondering, well, why did they kick Jewish people out of all these different places? I actually want to know, not because I wanted to justify any argument that I have right now, but because I want to know. I want to know, so therefore I can understand how we got to this point. So therefore, moving forward, no matter where the country goes, I can just make sure that I'm not being misled in a way, or I'm not just being a sheep out here to where the next generation, what happens, what you described. Because all of these different things, if we don't address them now, just like we didn't address them in the last generations, so now they become problems now. It's just going to become more, we're creating more entitlement amongst a lot of these groups, more elitism, to the point where you treat people so special for a very long time. They actually believe that they should be treated special.
Right.
They believe they deserve it. So now you're actually not only kicking the can down the road for the next generation to address, but you're actually making the problem even bigger. You're making them have to address something even more dangerous, so to say, because you never nipped it in the bud from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's what we're facing right now.
Mm-hmm. Kicking the can.
And a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it needs to be normalized to be able to have these conversations. It needs to be normalized to not have to live in a country where it's perfectly fine and you don't lose any sleep over saying, oh yeah, Islam, and categorizing everybody in that category, but then you walking on eggshells when it comes to Jewish people and how you're very selective in the words that you use to describe their culture, the words that you use to describe their religion, but we could just jump out the window and just talk crazy about Islam, and people can jump out the window and talk crazy about Christianity. Here you look at America was supposedly founded on Christian principles, not Judeo-Christian principles, Christian values.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get in more trouble in this country for criticizing Jewish people than you will Christianity. You will get in more trouble criticizing Bibi Netanyahu in a lot of ways than you will criticizing Christ. That's what has been created in this country. Think about that.
That's spot on.
It's because we've allowed ourselves to be bullied by a very select group of people, powerful, all these things, and they know that their power is in the chaos that is created. Even when we talk about a lot of these wars, we act as if different countries aren't working together. We think that it's like almost a boxing promoter. It's like my fighter against your fighter. Bro, I don't care what happens. I just want the best fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to make money off of this.
I'm trying to make it look good.
So we think that when our countries go to war with each other, like a lot of times you almost question, well, I definitely do question. It's like, yo, did these countries just get together and say, all right, you know what? We'll let those two countries fight right now.
At some point, you got to think that.
Because, y'all Americans, them youngins, they starting to question some things. So we need to get their minds off these. We need to distract them. The sports, the entertainment, it's not working. Yeah. So we need to figure something else out. Let's start up a war. Let's put together a 9/11. So that way, nobody even cares about all the stuff that we were arguing before. We just care about coming together to fight for America against the bad Arabs. You know what I mean? Like, we just create a lot of these scenarios to push political agendas, and a lot of people are not going for it.
No, absolutely. We got a super chat. Let me change my camera.
All right, let me get that. Silver Sister. This is not the same one. This is a different one, right?
Yeah, that's a different
one. Shout out
to
Silver Sister coming through. Shout out to Silver Sister coming through. Politicians are a protected class. Once they are in, it's extremely hard to get them out. We are stuck with really bad leaders on both sides. I'm actually going to take that a step further. Politicians are protected, but by who? They're only protected by the people that give them money, by their donors, by these lobbying groups. We've seen time after time how not protected these politicians are when they step out of line, so to say, and they will no longer push the same things that a lot of people are pushing. That's when you got Miriam Adelson coming in with $20 million saying that she's going to primary Thomas Massie. So they're only protected by the people who are giving them money, the powerful people. So in all actuality, they're just pawns. They're like any other job. Yeah, I'm going to keep paying you, and I'm going to keep you in this position as long as you do exactly what I tell you to do. Once you step out of line with that, you are no longer protected. So why do they act the way that they act? Why do they behave the way that they behave? Why do they not even stand on the principles that their religions tell them that they're supposed to stand on? Why do they make certain justifications like Ted Cruz saying that God commanded me to support Israel in the Bible, so therefore I'm rocking with everything that Bibi Netanyahu and this current state of Israel do? It's because they're doing what their bosses tell them to do, like the majority of us do in life, if we're being real. Mm-hmm. That's why. So it's not about a protected class in that way. The only politicians are nowhere near as protected as just Jewish people in general when you talk about that protected class. Yeah, LGBTQ had it for a bit, but not really. But when it comes to Jewish people, that is a protected class. When you can't even criticize them, any criticism that identifies that entire label of Jewish, like when you criticize Jewish people and aren't specific, you're an anti-Semite. That's protection. That's protection. When you can't criticize and call out a country for committing a genocide because you may get canceled, that's protection. Mm-hmm. When you can commit a genocide and still act as if you're the victim, that's protection. So it's different when it comes to these politicians, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Steve said, the politicians are just the face men maintaining the facade while the elites play Monopoly behind the scenes. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm feeling too.
It's and there's certain people that are willing to call that out. There's others that are not. And when you have a guy like Nick Fuentes and others that are willing to call that out, it makes a lot of the other people look bad. So they'll go to whatever lengths and extent they need to in order to villainize that person. But what ends up happening in some cases is they sound extremely silly. And now's a time where people are in tune more. So they just, it's like, unless you can use, oh, he says the N-word. You know, it's like, that's why they always, anything with Nick Fuentes, they'll call him an anti-Semite. They'll call him racist, but they'll only give examples of the things that he says about black people. As if that's gonna, now you hate black people if you rock with Nick Fuentes. Like once they couldn't get that off, I think that they realized like, oh, okay. Like now that we can't call him racist, now that we can't dangle that carrot and convince people to not listen to him because he says the N-word, they knew it was over. Yeah. They knew it was over.
Mm-hmm. Even the playing field.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
definitely.
how I see it. Let me go ahead.
Hit that. Don't forget, like Critical Thinking said, hit the like button. It's free. Keeps them. If you're new here, welcome to the pod or welcome to the conversation. Like and subscribe if you feel as if you're getting some value. We're here every morning, so we're gonna keep that conversation moving forward.
And I got a couple. I'm gonna share one more clip with you, bro. Mm-hmm. And then we've been trying to see if we could tighten up the show a little bit. So we'll see how this goes after showing this clip, and then we'll do our breath work and then see where it goes from there. Mm-hmm. But this is something that I wanted to show you. And I don't even know why I'm showing it, but I really just want to get your opinion on it. So maybe that's why I'm showing it and get everybody's opinion on it. Because this has been something that I've thought about. I don't know why over the last, I've heard some conversations around it. Let's just play the video. All right. You're responding first, BK.
All right.
Oh, no, I put it back on.
I know.
Oh, he went there. Oh, right. Here we go. Oh, there she goes. Oh, yeah. She's so cool. She's mad. She's so
So let me give a little context. So that's
the dad.
Transgender man laying in a hospital bed as a newborn baby is handed to him after he paid a surrogate to have a baby for him. I'm just going to sit back for a little bit. And the reason why is because this is what I'm talking about when it comes to culture. And, we were having a conversation the other day about Trump. I was talking to some family when I was down in Maryland, and he's a black dude. And he's like, man, if we're talking about voting for Trump. And I'm like, yo, yeah, he's making us look crazy right now. Like, we voted for him for all these things, boom, boom, boom. And now he's moving in, talking about no new wars. Now he's supporting Israel. We talked about, not allowing Israel to be bullying our government and making decisions. Now we see what's happening with that. Ukraine and Russia. He's acting as if he could have stopped that war day one he's in office. A lot of the things that he was campaigning on, he's not delivering on. And I'm glad that the conversations typically don't move into the direction that I'm getting ready to move it to, because there's just a certain level of accountability there where it's like, hey, we voted for this. He's not delivering on it. These are the problems that I have. But we actually elaborated on the conversation to the point where it's like, how did we get here? How did we get caught up in choosing, again, the lesser of two evils? And a lot of it is just based on things getting so extreme when it comes to what we're seeing on this TV screen, where it's like our country was moving in such a direction where if Kamala Harris became the president, we see what has happened with Gavin Newsom in California, where, and I don't think people truly understand this. Teachers in schools are not obligated to tell parents that their kids are identifying as another sex in school, that their kids are transgender. The teachers of schools have to call up a parent to get their, I guess, clearance or whatever you would call it, get their okay to take Advil, Tylenol. But teachers are not forced to let parents know when their kids are identifying as trans. When you have politicians that can't identify or just say clearly what a woman is, that's where things get very, very scary for me. And from a cultural standpoint, maybe let me not ramble. This is very strange to me. And I think that we're enabling and encouraging a lot of behavior that, in my opinion, is a mental health disease. And a lot of people get offended when you say that. But matter of fact, cuz you tell me what your thoughts are on.
I'm still trying to figure out what my thoughts are. This is it freedom? Is it just freedom? It's too much.
It's too much freedom.
It's too much.
Mm.
This is like we spoke about with Nick. Just the logic just would blow you away how it's just missing in politics, and seems like just in general, it's just missing.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to explain what it's giving joke? It's giving like we just playing around. Like we don't want to take a stance in anything. We're not putting a line. Like, this is the problem with freedom, is that you have abusers of it. And you have people that will leverage it and put people in put freedom in a position where it's just question why it even exists. Like, it's like when the teacher gives, hey, y'all, today, leave your books in the thing, we're going to watch a movie. And somebody just has to do too fucking much. And she
ruin it for the whole class.
Yo, pull the books out. I went down the hall for 2 seconds. I told y'all I could watch a movie. Look at y'all in here wilding. Cut the lights on. Put the food on. Cut the lights on. Get your books out. We just gonna finish out class studying, learning about X, Y, and Z. Because you got people that extort the opportunity here. Nobody needs to explain this. Nobody needs to tell the difference between this. Do I need to tell you the difference between the night and day? A flat tire or a tire that has air in it? Like, how much spoon feeding do we have to do to grown ass people? Apparently we got to do it in politics, and apparently we got to do it to our people. This is why cats just get up there and start lying. Because they like, what is it worth to tell the truth? They're not going to be truthful for themselves. Why do I owe them the shit? They be all upset if I don't keep it a bean, but they not keeping it a bean. This is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. I'm standing on that. I don't need to like be concerned about because look at that poor kid's face, bro.
Yeah.
It's just so sad that he don't even know what he is walking into. Now, here's the argument. Well, you don't know if you could be a good parent. You know, it doesn't mean that you're not defined by these. We keep saying this. You know how difficult it is to keep a kid on a straight and narrow path with two heterosexual parents in the household without all the other stuff. It's already tough as nails. Then you throw this element and say, well, they deserve it also. This is why people keep laughing. I don't think we're not getting on board with that. Sorry, we're not. We're not getting on board. This is ridiculous. We can't run this play, bro.
Nah, keep going. Keep going. My fault.
No. We just can't run this play. It's just giving the work is getting nasty. The work is getting nasty. It's getting out of it. It's you like what I said. We're in the class, and some of y'all knew we ain't have to do nothing today. And y'all came in this motherfucker and y'all lit this bitch on fire. Y'all done brought speakers. Y'all yelling and screaming after we told you, shh. Teacher done came in the door. She turned. It's up. Pull your books out. Because y'all can't handle no freedom. Y'all can't handle no freedom. Y'all doing too much. Why is this shit even on? Why y'all got the camera out? Why y'all got the camera out? Minimum. If you gonna run this play, bro, I can't even say that because that's not. You're just extra, bro. And I'm not in the business of giving people extra attention because they want it. I'm not doing all that, bro. This makes no sense. This looks ridiculous. I don't know if that's a weave. Is that a sew-in? The eyebrows are arched. The lashes are on. The kid is crying. There's a woman in the background. Why? Was she? How much did she have to get paid to be okay with this shit? How much? How much was what was the amount? What was the fee that let it be okay? See, our morals get challenged when the bread come through. And it seems like politician is going to be okay. Like when y'all start realizing that you can create business and just get a little creative or get on the team of creatives, you will stop worshiping the shit so fucking much. It's not that, it's just not as wild as you think. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's just not worth throwing the morals out the window, bro. You can make it to the top with dignity and pride. You don't have to sell out. You don't have to OnlyFans this thing just to get a couple dollars in your pocket, just to tell you, well, I was doing it for my family, my kids. Nah, we ain't off none of that. Bro, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're missing. But I think as the people, at what I'm seeing when I see something like this, I think the people are missing. They're missing. They got freedom, and as you see what they do with it, it's shit like this. But they're missing the confidence that they can do something without having to go so radical to do it. They're missing confidence, self-worth that they can make it to being normal or average. I think people are jumping off to the deep end because they think they don't have what it takes. And that may be an upbringing issue, that may be a societal issue, that may be a comparison issue that we have with the things that we choose to promote here. I don't know what it is. But as I see this is painful. This hurts. It just does. And we have to see, we need to identify what's going on here, because the next wave, the next generation, we're not going to let it fall. Like the pendulum swung. Like it went from no rights to, oh, now y'all got too damn many there. Like you got some, like you were saying, you got so much. We've been treating you like this for so long. You starting to believe it's like this. I've been opening the car door so much for you. You now got a problem if I miss it. I've been doing so much for you that you're not appreciative of what I'm doing when I do it anymore. It don't have the same hit like it did when I did it month one. This is how y'all get in the position where you abuse the things that you're being given. Now find your journey. I'm not telling you how to find your journey, but you need to know there's a line we can't cross. I mean, y'all do it in politics. Y'all do there. Yeah, but I don't know. I see some inconsistencies. I see some inconsistencies. Like in religion, like certain things can, like, oh, somebody can do something in the church, but we don't speak to it. Like this is what happens when you don't speak up. This is what happens when you're in the back of the class and you letting people extort your religion, extort your God, extort. This is what happens. Call it out.
And this is why I think that irresponsible freedom, when people are irresponsible with freedom, to your example in the classroom, it's ultimately going to lead to some form of communism, or it's going to lead to a point where it's like, now we got rules. I tried to give y'all all this freedom to the point where you wonder, is this why people allow all this type of freedom to occur? Because they know that it's going to create rational backlash. Like looking at this and a lot of people saying like, yo, this is ridiculous. So now it's going to factor into the whole back and forth, right versus left, into what Robert just described. I'll read his comment first and foremost. Shout out to you, Robert.
Shout out to real Robert.
For real. Robert wrote, I agree this isn't good. However, it's just a distraction that doesn't affect most people. This way, we don't talk about healthcare corruption taking 30% of federal budget and 15% of spend to wars, bankrupting America. I got to push back because I think it affects a lot more of us than we realize. It affects us in ways where, or it doesn't affect us to a point where we're looking at it and we say, well, I'm not gay. I'm not bringing a kid into this world. Not a big deal. But this is part of a bigger problem, in my opinion, to create a culture that emasculates men, that has a lot of kids confused, a lot of youngins confused about life, to create a lot of this mental health chaos. I think that this is a bigger play. A lot of us will look at this LGBTQ stuff and say, well, why is it, even an issue? Like, why is it, it's only this percentage of the population? Well, I would ask, why are the politicians making it such a big issue? Because we know that they don't do stuff on accident. We know that they're only doing stuff that their big donors are putting money behind. So when Joe Biden gets up on stage and he's running for president and he says his number one priority is going to be the LGBTQ community, I'm not going to look at that as just saying, oh, that doesn't impact anything. If they're using it as a play, even if from a distraction standpoint, what is it distracting us from? We may say it's distracting us from, the 30% of the federal budget, 15% of spending wars. What I think it's actually causing us, it's causing us to have men who aren't courageous enough to speak out on all of the other actual issues that we have. It's emasculating our men to care about these issues rather than something else. It creates a lot of issues that, because we may not directly deal with them, because we may not have anybody in our family who's having the kids like this, we may look at it where it's like, oh, that doesn't impact me. No, this is making an impact. When we look at our overall culture of America, this is making a huge impact. We have a problem with them saying, the whole push with the toxic masculinity that we talked about. We don't think that these plays have impacted how our younger generation of men are growing up, how our young boys are growing up, to where now they feel like they see a Nick Fuentes. That's why they're drawn to him so much, because all of their previous people have been trying to convince them to be emasculated, to accept everything with the LGBTQ community, to accept all these liberal, well, what is a woman? You can be whatever it is that you want to identify as today. That's a cultural issue that, to me, is creating a lot of these situations in this country where we don't have courageous enough men who are willing to stand up based on principles and integrity and values to the point where we'll address these type of issues. Because it's to a point where maybe 5 years ago, if you talked about this the way that we're even talking about it right now, you get in trouble.
Yeah.
You get in trouble for speaking out on this stuff. And it naturally, they throw things our way where we'll look at it as like, oh, that's just a distraction. It's just a distraction. And we're not even realizing, like, it may just be a distraction to us, but to these kids, it's actually their nurturing process. Kids are now growing up in a world where they're seeing this stuff, whether it's this baby seeing his father or it's us walking through the airport and seeing certain things. Kids are sponges. So they're growing up in a certain way where they're processing the world as they see it and may never even address it, and may not even knowing how it's impacting them.
Yeah, they may not
even
know,
impacting
right?
us.
Yeah.
So it's not just about our federal budget. To me, I voted for Trump. The main reason I voted for him was cultural issues. I didn't believe in, oh, this president's going to be good for the economy. This guy, it was led by cultural issues. You can call it may be considered a distraction. Well, very, very big distractions tend to have a very big role in indoctrinating us in ways. There's been a lot of distractions that we've just accepted growing up, and we wonder why we have the thoughts that we have on Israel and Palestine the way that we look at it. a lot of these things were just distractions, but because they were taught to us and it was presented to us in a certain way, we became indoctrinated with it to the point where 20 years later, we see things and are looking at it like, damn, I saw this completely wrong. So, I don't think it's as small of an issue. I don't think it should be something that, we're rioting against, or maybe it should be something that we're rioting against.
Well, how you feel about this one, Dak? Samir wrote, I don't agree, OG. They did this to get us all going, and a bunch of kids who wanted to rebel against their lunatic parents and grandparents ran with it. Now it's over. It's not popular anymore. Do you think this was a fad? That's what I was.
Well, do I think what was a fad?
It seems like this whole thing of just like the transgender, the LGBT movement, et cetera, the way I see it is like being prefaced like almost this was a rebellious fad that was something, but it's
I see it as a weapon.
It's still to the
I see it as a weapon.
Like
we're not being realistic with ourselves, in my opinion, if we're just like throwing this under and acting as if this isn't a thing. There's boys competing against sports against women. Like this is all a bigger play. Like it's almost as if we don't look at the number one. If you are going to war with somebody, who's the number one person that you want to take out when you're going to war with somebody? The man, in whatever group that is. Your goal is to take the man. So when we look at Lyndon B. Johnson and his social programs that he installed to destroy the Black community, it's because he removed the man from the household. When you remove men being men from any culture, in my opinion, that culture is going to be misled, controlled, bullied, a lot of the things that we're seeing occur right now. I don't see how you can look at this situation and say that this wasn't a huge thing. Like with the LGBTQ movement, I don't think it's a fad. It's a fad, I guess, if you don't have your kids or if you don't have any kids that you're raising right now and growing up in a lot of this stuff. But once again, in California, kids are being like, this is being pushed on our kids. It's being pushed on our kids. Our kids are looking at this as something to turn to because their parents told them that they couldn't do something that they wanted. So now they're going to lash out in a way against their parents, but they're choosing this. They used to choose other things, perhaps, to rebel against our parents. Now what they're choosing now is they're going to school as fairies. They're going to school as different sexes. They're confused. This is a weapon that is being used against our children. I don't see how we just sweep that under the rug and act like that's not a significant thing. Everything from you even there's been a lot of studies on the weed strains, the strains of weed that are now bringing about it's a lot of feminine strains of weed that are being used to make more feminine men. All of these different things, these are very strategic. When you have a culture where any group of men in a culture that is being emasculated, that is not standing on business when it comes to being a man and led by principles, that's a problem. That's a very vulnerable group. And our country, when we look at it, we are a very vulnerable group. What do we lack? We lack strong male leadership. We lack it in the families. We lack it in our politicians. We lack it across the board. Now, I'm not going to throw this as the only thing as the cause to all of that, but it's been a significant thing. And I like what Conjure wrote. It's distractions wrapped up in real world issues. And if we don't address the distractions, what ends up happening? People can then use distractions like they've been using them all along to manipulate us and control us. So I don't see how it's a small issue. And I don't even have kids.
Wow, man. It's just that exposure, you know what I mean? Like, it's like for some reason, we try to protect our kids from certain areas, or, you know, if we seem like an area can be dangerous, we try to give them the things to realize, you know, like keep your eyes on the swivel, make sure you don't speak to anybody or everybody, you know, don't jump in anybody's car, like, that guy, he's a drug dealer, don't go in that corner, stay away from that neighborhood. But it's just like, but with this is wrapped up in this is freedom. And it's like, no, if I don't want my kids to sell drugs, he probably shouldn't hang around the neighborhood drug dealer. If I don't want my kid to rob banks, he probably shouldn't hang around with the person who robs banks. If I don't want my kid to necessarily act up, he probably shouldn't be hanging around the kids that act up and spin.
And very quickly, what is a distraction? Like, what is a distraction? That's like, is Israel committing a genocide against Palestine a distraction? Like, yeah, it could be distracting us from some stuff. I don't know. But does that mean that we shouldn't address the things that it is? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is. Okay, so even back to the initial point, when we talk about the economy, oh, we're not having certain jobs, all these things. This, don't let the LGBTQ, this thing be a distraction. Is our kids being preyed on and promoted to engage in a mental health crisis, in my opinion? Is that less important than us being financially successful with jobs? Like, what makes one more important than the other? What's not a distraction?
Yeah, that's the question. What isn't one then?
Like, what? So distraction shouldn't be addressed? Or I'm just, maybe I'm off a little bit when it comes to this one. But shout out to Robert. Robert sent over. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert, for sure.
The Daily Wire and Zionist donors push the LGBTQ fight very heavily on both sides. It's important to not engage in this rage bait. See, I don't think that you should be rage baiting. I think it's important to be able to have a conversation and be like, yeah, this ain't it. Like, this isn't it. We need to address this. But I mean, I guess, what is the solution? I guess to just not address this? Is that what we should be doing? Just not saying anything about it? Just allowing the kids that got to deal with this, they'll figure out a way to navigate it themselves. That's kind of how we treated relationships with our generation. Oh, they'll figure out how to navigate it on their own. Well, did we? No.
Yeah, it's almost like if you don't remember, if you don't recall of how social media works, like I know we may think this happens to a small population, but if you take the perspective of how powerful social media is, this will impact millions of people. Simply that it was posted on a platform like Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, and it will literally be seen by millions of people. So unfortunately, even if you are the minority of an issue or minority in general, you can have a very, very, very majority impact with the way social media is. And so that's what these iPhones and these social media platforms have done. There's no such thing as, oh, it's a small group or it's a small percentage. Yeah, but like, that's just not the way the kids are reading into it. When they're getting this information, they think it's majority. You know, when the kids don't know that their algorithm is impacted by their watch time or what they're interacting with or what they comment, like these younger kids aren't putting all that data behind how they're maneuvering. And so what you think has a very small impact, unfortunately, has as much impact as CNN. It just does. It's just the way these platforms work. So us knowing that, when we grew up in that millennial time where social media was been lit on fire and it's been weaponized, it's done good also, but it can be weaponized. These are the things that we do have to not necessarily turn a blind eye to, because it will put you in a position like, oh, this doesn't happen all the time, it's not a big deal. Well, sorry, the impact is bigger than you will ever think it is. And you have to recall, like, oh, snap. If I'm seeing it, there's a good chance millions have saw it also. What does that do to the younger generation?
Right. Like, we're acting as if they're not putting books in kids' schools. Like, drag queens are not reading to kids in libraries. Like, this is a weapon that's being used against our kids. And for us to not address it, now our kids are going to be growing up, going to school, reading books that weren't, used against us as a weapon, where little boys are opening books in the library where it's showing them how to please sexually another boy.
Excuse me?
Where these books are being put in our schools. There's drag queens reading books to young kids. We're acting as if that doesn't impact our kids. Like, should we just not address it? Should we just ignore it? Like, this is something that is impacting our kids on a major level. In my opinion, I don't see it as something that like can't be addressed. I don't see it. It's like, if it's being used as a distraction, then I guess what would you suggest us address it? Like, how would you suggest us address it? Just to ignore it? Like, they literally have rules in schools that are condoning this behavior. And we just sit back and act as if it's not an issue that's impacting our kids. Just because it's not impacting you, just because you care more about the economy, just because you care more about the jobs or all these other things, doesn't mean that it's impacting our young kids. When you look at the percentage of kids, let's say 20 years ago, compared to the ones that identify now as transgender, the ones that are going through a mental health crisis, why is that not something that we address? And I think we sweep a lot of these things under the rug if they're not, whether it's the vaccines that a lot of our kids are just used to take. I just think that we sweep certain things under the rug that we think aren't impacting us, that are impacting us in severe ways. But that just may be me. Maybe it's not worth addressing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, because it's like at the end of the day, like we all want our kids to, we're going to do what our definition of is to make them happy, keep them safe, et cetera, et cetera. But we do have to understand, like, when you have a very village mentality, which we need to constantly push towards, is like what your child does impact my child. It just does. So we have to, like, there was times in the day, one of my favorite movies is a Christmas Story. They play it every day from today all the way until Christmas. But it's the show with the kids are acting out stuff. But there's a part.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Ralphie.
Yeah, Ralphie. So Ralphie's mom calls the neighbor because Ralphie had heard a bad word, and he was like, "Where did you learn that word from?" And she told him, and she called his mom. And the kid's mom got pissed off and fired him up, spanked his little ass, and he had to put soap in his mouth. So it's just like there's just like this moral compass amongst us to make sure our kids are out of harm's way. If Johnny's walking by himself or his mom has to go to school early, like Johnny's mom can walk with the other kid. Like, we have to see this and stop like isolating ourselves and continuing to say it's just us or it doesn't matter or don't buy into it. It's just like, nah, because guess who people don't try to do this stuff on? The people that show that they're aware that you're trying to do it. Mm-hmm. And I understand, like, I'm not against what you're saying by pushing back and saying, like, we can't rage bait into this, et cetera, because that definitely is an option. And it's a possibility. And quite frankly, I think it's what your definition is on reacting to the rage bait. But if somebody is attempting something, my first line of defense to not play with me is to let them know that I see what they're doing. So you may want to come a little bit differently or come a little bit more creatively if this is going to be your approach, because I'm telling you, I'm not off none of that. Don't play with me and don't play with mine. So if they think they can play with us, let's just say it is what he's saying. Let's just say it's propaganda. Let's just say it's radio. If they think they can play with us like this, we need to go ahead and remind cats we not off none of that. So come a little bit more creative or come a little bit more dynamic, whatever you're doing. But I'm not off you trying to get into, like, we draw the line. You're doing too much and I'm going to call you out. The next step is it's not going to be as cool, calm, and collective. So we have to meet things with somewhat similar energy so that people stop playing with you. Like, you got to understand how you get the bully to stop. It's just not always works when you just ignore them. Just ignore them. Nah, that shit follows you. And as you see, it's following us. It's following us in our algorithm. It's following us into these situations. So we have to put ourselves in a position where we can put ourselves to let cats know, nah, I'm not off none of that. So if you think you're going to bring that bullying shit over here, I'm going to let you know quickly. We not off that. Parents not for it. The communities ain't for it. The kids ain't for it. If you on that and you feel comfortable posting this on the internet, then be open to being criticized and don't give me the little anti-Semitism or don't give me the racist. Don't give me the tags that y'all like to give. I'm giving you the energy you're giving me. You knew what you was doing before you did it, so you're going to have to accept what comes with it. And it's not my job to buy you out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to be comfortable addressing things up front, honest and direct from the jump, because when we don't address these things, Do we think that they're going to become bigger distractions or smaller distractions?
Mm-hmm.
When they're influencing our younger generation, do you think this is going to become a bigger problem or a smaller problem? It's like what we like to do with everything else. You kick the can down the road for long enough, then it becomes a rage bait. But if you just address it initially head on, we're not doing this, we're not pushing this, I don't care what you call us, call it taking away your freedom, call it whatever it is that you want to call it. This is wrong and we're not rocking with it. But when you continue to allow something to fester without addressing it, it becomes a bigger problem. And then you go from it becoming a distraction to it actually influencing your culture. So forget a distraction. It is beyond the distraction at this point. It is influencing our culture. Just my opinion from where I'm looking at it. Maybe it's not for everybody. And Robert came through again.
Okay. Shout out to you, Robert. We love the dialogue. We love the convo.
Man, the root cause is to fix the childhood schedule, as this is causing the explosion in autism. Most trans people are confused autistic people that were injured. So I think Robert may be talking about you may be talking about what I addressed with the vaccines initially, as far as the child schedule. And this is causing the explosion in autism, which a lot of people have made that connection. I know this is something that RFK Jr. got pretty popular on his conversations around the impacts of these vaccines causing autism in a lot of our kids, and him arguing one side of it. But he said most trans people are confused autistic people that were injured. Yeah, it's I don't even know if they're mostly autistic people. I'll take your word for that, definitely. But I don't like, I especially don't like, doesn't that make it even worse? Where it's like you're preying on these autistic kids? Like you're preying on our most vulnerable. Like, who are we as a society if we don't protect our most vulnerable group of kids? They're preying on our autistic kids. Yeah, that's when it goes from a distraction to a weapon. They turn the distraction into a weapon. They're preying on our autistic kids. They're preying on our kids. This is all a big play, in my opinion, across the board, whether it's the LGBTQ, whether it's the toxic masculinity play, whether it's the women's movement, believe all women, whether it's all to remove a strong man, because strong men in certain cultures, in certain groups, in certain communities, they don't allow all this BS to go on. And they don't care. It's almost like a father. Sometimes you got to say no. They don't care if the kid's going to go to mom and mom's going to say, the kids are going to say dad's mean. It doesn't matter. This is what's happening. And people try to remove those type of people from society, or soften those type of people up, emasculate those type of people. So now when we're looking at common sense things in our society, now we're getting caught up in all the rage baiting because we allowed this thing to fester for so long without just addressing it and saying, this is crazy. We're not rocking with this. If you are a politician, if you are a political party that is pushing this BS, you will cancel yourself. But no, that doesn't happen. People will see it as only a distraction, and a whole bunch of Democrats will vote for this nonsense because, it's just a distraction. No, this is a real thing that's impacting our kids. This is a real thing that is impacting our kids. But we see it as just a distraction. So therefore, a lot of people will just continue to vote Democrat, continue to vote for this nonsense. You got a bunch of people that clearly agree that men are men and women are women, but they'll vote in a totally different way. Why? Because it's the lesser of two evils. Why? Because it's only a distraction. No, this is a weapon that is being used against our culture and against our kids. So I don't know. I said I don't know again. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You get the last word, and we got to get out of here. We need some breath work.
Nah, man. I think I think all these topics have been very very important for all of us to have the discussion. I mean, it's still a respectful discussion at the end of the day, regardless of what side of the fence you stand or what your beliefs are. We're gonna have the conversation. That's one thing you ain't got to worry about at the OG network. We're gonna speak about it and we're gonna stand on it. So y'all don't be concerned about it. If you got any things you guys want us to talk about, always feel free to reach out to the chat or the page, and we'll bring up the topics and have those type of conversations. But yeah, this is where we stand.
Yeah. And Phyllis, as somebody who supported RFK Jr., I agree. He is helpless and ineffective at this point.
I mean, he got the Cheetos. Hold on now. He got the Cheetos with the no code red. Or
he did do a couple things, and then he got some. Is it Steak and Shake? Now they're using they got rid of the seed oil.
Okay, yeah,
they're using the meat oil or something.
Oh yeah. What is it? Chad, what's the oil or the fat?
A T, right? A T. Doesn't it start with a T?
Yeah, it's slipping my mind.
What's now we're gonna
come on, Chad.
They're gonna come through in the chat.
Chat gonna let us know what beef tallow.
Tallow. I knew it started with a T. I knew it started with a T.
Yeah, Steve right there with it too.
Steve right there with it, bro.
Yeah, tallow. Beef tallow. Yeah, so he you know,
he doing certain things. Honestly, that's not my biggest issue. This is a totally different issue. Isn't it wild that everybody's talking about JD Vance and Marco Rubio as the next potential candidate from the Republican Party, acting as if RFK Jr. didn't already run and have a big backing.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I can't rock with RFK Jr. If I'm being real, he seems more bought off than Trump when it comes to Israel.
Like he locked into that.
Yeah, like I just don't. It's the one thing that I just can't ignore when it comes to him, where it's like, bro, just seems like it. And he, based on certain things that he said in the past, where he's like, I got a rough past, and they put out some articles on him and him doing certain things with women. It's almost like, yeah, I know they got something on him. like
we don't want another one of y'all coming up here with a shaky past, because we see how they do y'all when y'all have something shaky on your resume.
Because y'all ain't willing to stand on it. Y'all not willing to say it is what it is. I was young. Maybe I wasn't that young.
We don't want no more of y'all. Like, look, we not even asking you to tell us. But if you know you coming up there in these political parties and looking to represent a group or a side, and you know you don't got some shit off, and look, you might not have got caught, and that's cool. Let's keep it that way, because we not trying to get you. We're not trying to see your name on the Epstein files. We're not trying to see your name on some other files. We don't want none of that. Like, just look, save yourself the trouble. Just become a politician over the internet or some shit like that. But don't go into that office, man, because the other side don't play fair. They don't fight the same way that you may used to. They gonna find it. They gonna get it, and they gonna hold it over your head, and they gonna expose you and hold it over your head, and you gonna go in that office and you done lied to everybody, talking about you gonna do this and do that, and then they pull some shit out from a DM that you hit somebody with, or an old case that you thought you got expunged, and it don't work like that. And then now look. So save us the time and the energy and the roller coaster of going down that path with you. If you don't have that clean resume, please don't come up there talking about what you gonna change. Sorry, you disqualify. You're not qualified. Okay, that's a requirement. And that should be something that should blow out on the back end for them moving forward. If we find out you had something and you didn't disclose it before getting in office, and you get in office and all of a sudden your nuts not dragging no more like they used to, we need to be able to get our votes back. We want our money back. We want a check. I don't know. Give my people something back in return for voting for your silly ass. Because that's not cool. You keep snatching up people's votes up, and then, oh, but I had this over my head. Then you want to be like, what was I supposed to do? Nah, you knew you shouldn't have did what you did before. You got off. Okay, but you done stole our votes. Nigga, we can't get it back. It's 4 years, we can't get nothing back. I need a check.
Like soon.
I need a check. I need my people to get their check. Their vote's worth something, right? So send them a check. That's what I'm pushing for.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I see why my boy say, Joe Darcy wrote, yeah, he's captured. Talking about art.
Yeah, he's captured.
Sean, shout out to Sean. Sean wrote, I don't like any of them. We are an occupied state. That is a fact, yo. That is a fact, bro. We are an occupied state, right? He said, yo, what did he write? What was the first comment I said? He's captured.
yeah. They got cuz on lock, bro.
Yo, all right, man. Let's get into our box breathing. Oh, man. I could sit here and rock with y'all all day. Man.
Yeah, great crowd today, man.
Yeah.
We held 70 strong this whole time, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in for over 2 hours. Like, it's Monday morning. Glad y'all, Dad got his coffee. He different when he got his bulletproof?
Oh, yeah. Let me give y'all so this is Black Rifle. It's definitely one of the stronger coffees that I've tried.
You co-signing it?
This is Beyond Black, huh?
You co-signing it?
Well, we're not co-signing anything. You know what I mean? They got to come with a check. We're not co-signing anything. But I'll give some feedback on it. It's strong. It's all right.
It's all right. Okay.
It's all right. We can. I'll finish the bag. I'll finish the bag. We could talk differently.
Yeah.
Situation change.
If y'all interested.
Nah, there's no occupation over here. Like, we keeping it open, baby.
We're keeping it open.
Oh man. Nah, but it's good. It's good. It's strong. It's strong. All right, let's get into this box breathe. Beyond Black is the deal. Steve, no. No book. So this actually is I believe a very conservative. Like, you see the American flag on the bottom of it.
Oh, it really is conservative.
Yeah, I think they actually do support a bunch of pods. We actually should reach out to them. Let's reach out to them. Black Rifle. Yeah, we'll give y'all. But maybe every day I'm about to start. We're gonna start judging some of these coffees. I'm not gonna say every day because I'm not buying a new coffee every day.
Yeah.
All right, box breathing. Cuz, you got it?
Nah. Yeah, that's you.
All right, box breathing. So this is what we're gonna do for our box breathing. We're gonna do a 4-second inhale. Inhale in all the positive energy, empowering energy, uplifting energy, anything that's gonna make us feel like the superhero that we are. Anything that's gonna bring that light or charge that light within us. That's what we want to focus on and be very intentional with our inhale. Then we're going to do a 4-second hold. After that 4-second hold, we're going to do a 4-second exhale, getting rid of all the negative limiting energy that we may have, any thoughts that may be distracting us, get rid of it. Then we're going to do another 4-second hold, and then we're going to repeat that cycle 4 times, all right? With the goal being at the end of our 4 cycles to remove all the negative energy, inhale a whole bunch of positive, uplifting energy, and start to circulate that positive energy moving forward as we set out to make this our greatest week ever. All right, so like, do us a favor, like, get the numbers up, and we shall begin with our inhale. If you are in a safe place, close your eyes if you choose to do so. I will. And let's start with our inhale, 4 seconds, ready, begin. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Release. Hold. Inhale with intention, positive energy. Go. Hold. Releasing the negative energy. Hold. And on this last inhale, well, not last one, y'all know what I mean. Let's be very focused, intentional. Inhaling that positive energy, ready, go. Hold. And now we're going to hold it. We're going to release that negative energy, the last bit of it. Ready, go. Hold. All right. Y'all know what we come here to do. Elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, raising our standards, becoming the best leaders we can become, as well as growing and developing into the people that we need to grow and develop into, to have the confidence, perseverance, the tools and skills to go after these monumentous goals and tasks that we set for ourselves. Is that a word? Monumentous?
It sounds good. I mean, we get what you're putting down.
Yeah, monumentous. I think that's a word. To go after these audacious goals that a lot of us are going after, that we set for ourselves, for humanity, hopefully achieving this greater peace, hopefully us all striving to have humanity live in peace and harmony, all these different things. So we need to make sure that we're being very intentional with getting to a lot of these goals, especially with overcoming a lot of the challenges, because a lot of the things that are coming back our way are very intentional. So we need to make sure that we're answering the call accordingly. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Let's get to that bag. What do I mean by that bag? I'm talking about all the things that we focus on throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, that will add up into our impact on this world that we like to call our personal legend. So as we are striving to live in our purpose and striving for that purposeful abundance, we want to make sure that we're on the most efficient trajectory in order to get there. So to do so, we have to be very clear on the things that we focus on. The things that I like to focus on that serve as my map, my compass, my guide rails: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. And of course, we got to always add that balance on there. So let's make sure that I see a couple people. I see Big Bro Steve always leaving us with some wise words. When things get overwhelming, get in a round of box breathing, regain full control, and re-engage on your plan. Already in progress. Be the change. Unc said, what did we get? Unc said, one love, always family. Shout out to Ragnar. My boy Ragnar.
Oh, yeah, Ragnar.
Ragnar in the building. Yeah, I'm rock with Ragnar. Hi, I'm here for the breathing exercise. I'm giving birth now. Help. Yo, you funny.
Oh my
Yeah, true. After we amp you up, Finn said, this isn't found in the noise of the world, but in the quiet courage to question yourself. Seek it honestly, and it will shape you more than any answer ever could. Shout out to Finn, always coming through with the wise words, man. We really appreciate y'all. We really do. Leon Lately wrote, excellent show, guys. Thanks from a new subscriber. Your opinions are welcome because common sense isn't very common these days, unfortunately. Yeah. But we're going to make it. We're going to make it the norm. That's what our goal is. Think about if common sense was just the norm, how amazing life would how much more amazing life would be. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Conjurer said, Black ass. You be drinking coffee? Come on, bro. Oh, man. Come on, bro. All right, what else we got? Unc said, challenge yourself by learning something new every day. Learning something new and different. Learn to be positive even when you're surrounded by negativity. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Unc said, love, peace, and soul. BK, carry us out.
Yeah, great way to kick off December 1st. It's the last month, man. What you gonna do with it, man? What y'all gonna do with it? Close out 2025. Start your New Year's resolutions for the ones that have them. Go ahead and start them now. Get a head start. Get a month. If you're gonna get in the gym, get in now. If you're gonna get your finances together, get them now. And just show up at 8 o'clock. We'll be here. But yeah, great conversation. Enjoyed it. And we look forward to tomorrow with some new topics.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Lastly, Finn, a community's true power is born when ordinary people choose to lift each other, turning shared struggle into shared strength. On that note, we'll see y'all tomorrow.